So, I've been asked about the Pageau 4-goal game. And I thought, hell. Let's go ahead and take a look and see about hat tricks and 4-goal games from guys you wouldn't expect. So, I've got a listing here in the Hockey Guide and Record Book of every hat trick, every 4-goal game. And let's look for some unusual ones that you wouldn't expect. There's Jean-Gabriel Pageau from 2013, so that's 4 years ago, as I said, against Montreal Canadiens. Against Carey Price, Ottawa wins that game 6-1. Sean Couturier, in that in 2012 he was seen as an up-and-coming center. He's never really hit those scoring heights he was supposed to, but that's probably Philly's system as much as anything. So he had the hat trick in a game that Philly wins 8-5 over Pittsburgh. Devin Setoguchi, May 4th of 2011, against Detroit, got a hat trick. Dustin Byfuglien had one against Vancouver in May of 2010. I remember that game. People are like, why don't you like Dustin Byfuglien? That'll do it. I can't say that one's an odd one. Michael Nylander had a hat trick for the Rangers against Atlanta in the sweep over Atlanta. They won that game 7-0. Michael Nylander is an odd one in that he scored a lot of points, but he wasn't known as a shooter, so him getting a hat trick's a rarity. John Madden in 2006 for New Jersey in a game they won over the Rangers 4-1. Mike Sillinger for St. Louis in 2004. His third was his empty net goal completed the hat trick. It was against Nabokov. They won that game 4-1. Andy Delmore for Philadelphia in 2000. In a game that Philadelphia beat Pittsburgh 6-3. So apparently Philly likes to score hat tricks against the Penguins. Didn't make the playoffs this year to do it, but they like to score them against the Penguins. Martin Straka. I mean, he was an offensive player, but in the playoffs, and all three of them against Martin Brodeur. 4-2 win for Pittsburgh that night. Matthew Barnaby had one for Buffalo against Dallas. I remember that was against Montreal. I saw Andy Moog and I'm like, oh, Dallas. No, Andy Moog. His third was an empty netter. Buffalo beat Montreal 6-3. Valeri Zalapukin had one for New Jersey against Montreal. Jocelyn Thibault was the goaltender in that one. 6-4 win for New Jersey. Zalapukin was a guy that I liked quite a bit for his name, but he never really became much more than a third-line guy who could fill in the second if he had to. Mike Sullivan, when he played for Calgary. Yes, that Mike Sullivan. Scored 3 against San Jose, 2 against Irbe, 1 against Wade Flaherty, as Calgary beat San Jose 9-2. And in that same series, Theoren Fleury scored 4 goals in one night against Arturs Irbe. 3 of them against Irbe, 1 in an empty net. Calgary won that game 6-4. Gary Suter with a hat trick for Chicago against Toronto. Potvin allowed 3 hat tricks in '94 against him. That's insanity, but he did. Yep, he allowed 3 in '94. 2 against Chicago and 1 against San Jose. Tony Amonte, Gary Suter, and Ulf Dahlin with the hat tricks. So, some oddities in terms of hat tricks. Nice to see the 4-goal game for Pageau. One I missed here was Joffrey Lupul scoring a hat trick for Anaheim against Colorado. It just in that it's odd to see it, but I try not to play up too much when it comes to guys playing really well in a playoff game. Not because it's not noteworthy. It is noteworthy. It is noteworthy that Pageau scores 4. But faster than you can say John Druce, this result becomes inconsequential in the next game. So, if Ottawa comes out in Game 3 and they lose 5-0, and then in Game 4 they lose 4-1, that 4-goal game is gone. So the trick for Ottawa is to use that 4-goal game and come out while the iron's hot, because they won a game where Craig Anderson wasn't at the top of his game. So when you win a game that your goaltender isn't great, you have to take advantage of it the next game. because if Anderson has another iffy game, you have to keep your game up there. It's tricky. It's not going to be easy. I think the Ottawa Rangers series and the Washington Pittsburgh series are both series that should be 1-1 and are 2-0, and it's kind of too bad. I mean, I like Pittsburgh enough that I don't hate seeing them beat Washington. It's kind of like watching. I don't know how else to put it. It's just when you watch the same team lose to the same team over and over again, you kind of get the hope that it's gonna turn the other way. But of course, don't forget, I'm a guy who went and saw the movie Titanic in the theater 4 times. I may have seen it 5. Somebody asked me once, they said, well, why did you see it so many times? And I jokingly said, I've seen the movie 5 times, and it gets more and more aggravating each time because I keep thinking they're going to remember the last time I watched it, and they're going to avoid the iceberg. So maybe that's why I still try to pull for Washington against Pittsburgh, because I think if they can see the Pittsburgh coming, they'll have time to steer around it and get past it. And they just hit the Pittsburgh every time, and they go nose down into the water. So maybe that's it. But I fully expect when the Rangers come out in Game 3, which is on, I believe, Tuesday, I think we'll see a different game. Because the last game was high scoring, it should be low scoring. That being said, look at the games in this round. It's like everybody just said, screw defense, we want to win. And everybody's just playing offense. It'll drive all 8 coaches nuts seeing teams play that way. But it's fun for us fans to watch hockey like that. It takes me back to the good old days. Well, somewhat. I think if you had 80s style offense with 90s style hitting and modern day speed, I think you'd have a perfect game. But I digress. Anyways, that's my view on 3-goal, 4-goal games, because you're going to have some odd guys who get those. And you'll notice, too, if you know your history, some of those series where guys got the hat tricks, they didn't win the series. So it's nice to see Pageau get 4 goals in a game. I've been a Jean-Gabriel Pageau fan from day one. And I think he's capable of a more offensive role than he necessarily gets in Ottawa. And I think he'll grow into that if he gets that opportunity. But it was one game, and I probably would have made more of it during the regular season than in the playoffs. It's just, for me, I guess maybe it's all these years watching the playoffs. I put it into perspective, and it's just different for me. It's sort of like how on my other channel I'm talking about Doctor Who, and how despite the fact I love the show, this season just feels like it's retreading a lot of old stuff. So maybe in the playoffs, maybe I see that too. I see some of this as I've seen this before. We'll just see how it works out. So Pageau gets 4 goals. Okay, yay, good, awesome. Overtime winner, very dramatic win. Don't let up on the Rangers, because they'll come back and stomp you if you let up on them. If you let Lundqvist get back into his game starting in Game 3, they are capable of winning 4 out of 5. Do I think they will? No. I picked Ottawa before the series. I think that's a safe bet. But the Rangers are capable of winning 4 out of 5 because they have one of the best goaltenders of this generation as their goaltender. And I love Craig Anderson. He has a very insane story that will make a great movie someday, in terms of how he took care of his wife and the Senators still made the playoffs, thanks in no small part to Mike Condon. But as inspirational as this story is, I don't know that one-on-one with them at their best game, I still think Lundqvist is the better goaltender. Just and again, when you get to this level, the difference between the goaltenders is not very much. Jake Allen to Pekka Rinne, if you switch sides, if you put Allen in the Nashville net and Rinne in the St. Louis net, I still think you have 2-1 lead for Nashville. Talbot and Gibson are close. Talbot and Gibson are both goaltenders who are capable of a great game after they've already allowed a couple of goals. They have that Grant fear. I've allowed a goal, I'm not going to allow the next one. That's big. So, again, for Ottawa fans, I apologize if it seems like I tried to gloss over what Pageau did. I'm just seeing more of the big picture, and for me it kind of, as exciting as it is for Ottawa fans, it's like, okay, it's one game. So we'll see. We'll see what happens from here. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. This is my last video for today. But I will be back tomorrow. I work tomorrow, of course, so boo on that. But I work tomorrow, and I will be back tomorrow to discuss things after work. And we'll get into probably some kind of news that happens between now and then. So thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will talk to you all again tomorrow.